Okay, now what we're going to do is learn how to save a file and then add a header and footer to the file. So first, in terms of saving a file, really easy, just like any other Microsoft Office application. We're going to go here to File, and we're going to say either if we want to save it as the same file name, we're just going to hit Save. And then if we want to name it something else, we're going to go to Save As. We're going to browse to the area where we want to save it. In this case, let's just save one on, let's say, the desktop. So I'm going to come up here to the desktop, and I'm going to call this Excel Skills for HR Database Test. So we're going to come down here then and say Save, and that's now part of our file name. You can see changed up here, and we're working with that particular file. So easy shortcut here is the save here, or Control S is also another easy way to do that. If you wanted to, you could also, if it's not added, so it may look like your toolbar may look like this, but it is a quick access button, the save is, so you can add it here just like that. So that's how you save your workbook. Again, it will save over any changes that you've made, just like any other Office application. Now, in terms of headers and footers, pretty easy to do. All you need to do is come down to the bottom right here and click on Page Layout, and that will take you to a screen that looks like this. So this is our data set. This would be what it would look like if we printed it, right? So you can see all the different pages, and the data bleeds over into the other pages, and it gets pretty unwieldy to look at, but we'll cover some of that here in a minute. But in terms of adding a footer, you can see up at the top, it's really simple. All you do is click here. Let's say we want to add something on the left. You can click on Design up here at the top. Let's say we want to add a page number. We can click on page number, and it says and bracket page end bracket. That means that it's going to keep up with the page depending on what that page is. And in the middle, see, when we click on something else, it'll automatically number the page. You can see this is page number 1, and over here is page number 11. Let's say we want to put in the I don't know, file name, for example. It says and file, right? So that's the file name. If we click here, it'll show our file name. Let's say we want to do, page 1 of the number of pages, right? So we've clicked on page number, and let's click on number of pages, and you can see here, so this is 1 of 20, but it tells us, it just says 120, right? So if we want to say 1 of 20, what we need to do is type in here of space of space. So now we have page 1 of 20 and 11 of 20, right? And if we scroll down, you can see here in our other pages, page 2 of 20, page 12 of 20, etc. And you can see that because we've had a header here, it carries through to all of our other pages as well. Similar thing with footers, exact same type of way to do it. So you click on where it says footer, and you can add your footer. So let's say current time. Maybe here we want to say the file path, how we get to it, etc., etc. So again, this looks goofy because the file path is so long. So be careful when you do that, because your file paths oftentimes are pretty long as well. So also, if you click here, it will give you suggestions for your headers. We can say none, and that will clear our headers here. Also, if we click down here on footers, let's say we want to clear our footers out, you can click on none, and it will clear those out. But it does give you some suggestions. So for example, again, we click on design, header, we want to say Excel Skills for HR Database Test, right? That's what we saved the file name as. Maybe over here we wanted to say your name, your page, and the date, or maybe prepared by. Let's do that. So we can click here, and it will say prepared by, right? And so just some suggestions there in Excel. And really, that's all there is to it in terms of adding headers and footers. Oftentimes, headers and footers can make your Excel sheet look much more professional, and it's easier, so you don't have, oftentimes as you're going through data, you want to make sure that your pages are in order. So my favorite kind of headers and footers are page X of Y. It seems to really help there. So just a practical tip, and that is how to do saving a document and headers and footers.